Hello friends, welcome to the world of project management and for a overview session on project risk management process, that is identify risk. Motto of this training is to share my experience in preparing for the PMP certification and have prepared few slides. Let's quickly move to our agenda for this session that we are going to discuss on what is identify risk process and its ITTOs, that is inputs, tools and techniques and outputs. It is the second process in the project risk management and it is defined as per the PMBOK guide as identify risk is the process of identifying individual project risk as well as the sources of overall project risk and documenting their characteristics. Hope you understood the definition. The key benefit of this process is that it is the documentation of existing individual project risk and sources of overall project risk. This is the key benefit of this process. Hope you understood about this definition and key benefit. And the participants in the risk identification activities may include the project manager, the project team members, the project risk specialist, if any of the assigned members, and it includes the customers, SMEs inside or outside of the organization, at the project team, are the end users and the other project managers or operation managers and stakeholders. So these people are all included in this risk identification activities. And it is a iterative process. Hope you understood this. So we have understood about its definition, the key benefit of this process, and some important points on this identify risk process. So let's move to its ITTOs. In inputs, we have the project management plan, which consisting of the requirements management plan, the schedule management plan, the cost management plan, quality management plan, resource management plan, risk management plan, scope baseline, schedule baseline, and the cost baseline. And coming to the next input, the project documents, which contains the assumption log, cost estimates, duration estimates, issue log, lessons learned registered, requirements documentation, resource requirements, and stakeholder registered. And also we have in the inputs agreements, procurement documentation, EFs and OPS, that is enterprise environmental factors and organizational process assets. And coming to the tools and techniques. In the tools and techniques, we have the expert judgment, the data gathering techniques, which includes the brainstorming, checklist and interviews. And we have data analysis technique, which includes the root cause analysis, or assumption and constraint analysis, SWOT analysis, and document analysis. And in the tools and techniques also we have the interpersonal and team skills, that includes the facilitation, we have the prompts list, and we have the meetings. And coming to the outputs, we have risk registered, risk report, project document updates, that's consisting of the assumption log, issue log, and the lessons learned registered. Hope this is an overview of the inputs, tools and techniques and outputs. Let's discuss this in more detail with starting with first inputs. In the inputs, first we have the project management plan. As I said, the project management plan, which includes the requirement management plan, schedule management plan, cost management plan, quality management plan, resource management plan, risk management plan, scope baseline, schedule baseline, and the cost baseline. So let me explain one by one, starting with the requirements management plan. The requirements management plan identifies the areas that are subjected to uncertainty or ambiguity. And also the same, the schedule management plan, the cost management plan also identifies the same, that is, it identifies the areas that are subjected to uncertainty and ambiguity. And coming to the quality management plan and the resource management plan, they identifies the areas that are subjected to uncertainty or ambiguity, and also where the key assumptions have been made that might have give to risk. Hope you understood this. Coming to the risk management plan. Here, the risk management plan provides information on the risk related rules and responsibilities, and also it indicates how the risk management activities are included in the budget and schedule. And also it describes the categories of risk which may be expressed as a risk breakdown structure, that is RBS. Hope you understood this risk management plan. Moving to scope baseline. The scope baseline includes the deliverables and the criteria for their acceptance, some of which might have give rise to risk also. Hope you understood the scope baseline. Moving to the schedule baseline. In this, the schedule baseline may be reviewed to identify the milestones and deliverable due dates that are subjected to uncertainty or ambiguity, and also are where the key assumptions have been made that might give rise to risk. Hope you understood the schedule baseline. Moving to the last, the cost baseline. The cost baseline may be reviewed to identify the cost or funding requirements that are subjected to uncertainty or ambiguity, or where the key assumptions have been made that might give rise to risk. Hope you understand all these plans of the project management plan, the importance of this in the identify risk process. Let's move to the next input. We have the project documents. In the project documents, we have the assumption log, cost estimates, duration estimates, issue log, lessons learned registered, requirements documentation, resource requirements, and the stakeholder register. Let me explain one by one. Assumption log. In this, the assumptions and constraints recorded in the assumption log may give rise to individual project risk and may also influence the levels of overall project risk. Hope you understood this. And coming to the cost estimates and the duration estimate, these both estimates provide the quantitative assessments of the project cost and the project durations. Ideally expressed as a range indicating the degree of risk. I hope you understood these two estimates. Moving to the issue log. In this, the issues recorded in the issue log may give rise to the individual project risk and may also influence the level of overall project risk. Coming to lessons learned registered. In this, the lessons learned about the risk identified from earlier phases of the project are reviewed to determine whether the similar risk might reoccur during the remainder of the project. Hope you understood this. Moving to the requirements documentation. In this, the requirement documentation lists the project requirements and allows the team to identify those that could be at risk. Hope you understood about the requirements documentation. Moving to the resource requirements. As similar as the cost estimates and the duration estimates, this also provides the quantitative assessments of the resource requirements that is ideally expressed as a range that indicates the degree of risk. Hope you understood this resource requirements. Moving to the last, stakeholder register. The stakeholder register indicates what individual or groups might participate in identify the risk of the project. Moving to the last, stakeholder register. In this, the stakeholder register indicates which individuals or groups might participate in identifying risk to the project. Hope you understood about this input. Let's move to the next input. We have agreements. In the agreements, let me explain. If the project requires some external procurement of resources, the agreements may have the information such as the milestone dates, contract type, acceptance criteria, and also awards and penalties that can be presented for threats and opportunities. This all information contains in the agreements. Okay, hope you understood about agreements. Let's move to the next input. We have procurement documentation. In the procurement documentation, if the project required some external procurement of resources, the initial procurement documentation should be reviewed as procuring the goods and services from outside the organization that may increase or decrease the overall project risk and may introduce the additional individual project risk. Hope you understood this. Moving to the next input, that is enterprise environmental factors. In this EFs, we may have the published material, including the commercial risk databases or checklist. It may include the academic studies. It may include the benchmarking results, and it may include the industry studies of the similar projects. Hope you understood about these EFs. Moving to the next input, we have organizational process assets, that is OPAs. In the OPAs, it may include the project files, including the actual data. It may include the organizational and project process controls. It may include the risk statement formats, and it may include the checklist from the previous similar projects. Okay, hope you understood about this OPAs also. Hope you understood about all the inputs of the identify risk process. Let's move to its tools and techniques. In the tools and techniques, we'll start first with the expert judgment. As I said in my previous sessions, expertise should be considered from the individuals or groups with some specialized knowledge of similar projects or business areas. That is, such experts should be identified by the project manager and invited to consider all aspects of the individual project risk as well as the sources of overall project risk. Hope you understood about this expert judgment. Let's move to the next technique, data gathering techniques, which includes the brainstorming, checklist, and the interviews. Let me explain one by one what is brainstorming, checklist, and interviews. First, with brainstorming. In this, the goal of brainstorming is to obtain a comprehensive list of individual project risk and sources of overall project risk. And also, the project team usually performs a brainstorming, often with a multidisciplinary set of experts who are not part of the team. Hope you understood about this brainstorming. Moving to the checklist. In this, a checklist is a list of items, actions, or points to be considered for this identifying risk process. It is often used as a reminder. And these are developed based on the historical information and knowledge that has been accumulated from the similar projects and from the other sources of the information. Hope you understood about this checklist. Moving to the interviews. In this, the individual project risk and the sources of overall project risk can be identified by interviewing experienced project participants and also the stakeholders and also some SMEs, that is subject matter experts. Hope you understood how the data gathering techniques plays a key role here. Moving to the next technique, that is data analysis technique, which includes the root cause analysis, assumptions and constraints analysis, SWOT analysis, and the document analysis. Let me explain one by one. First, with root cause analysis. The root cause analysis is typically used to discover the underlying causes that lead to a problem, and it develops a preventive action. It's so simple here. And also, it can be used to identify the threats by starting with the problem statement and exploring which threats might result in that problem occurring. Hope you understood. And also, this technique can be used to identify the opportunities by starting with the benefit statement and exploring which opportunities might result in that benefit being realized. Hope you understood about this RCA root cause analysis. Moving to the next data analysis technique, that is assumption and constraint analysis. In this, every project and its project management plan are conceived and developed based on a set of assumptions and with a series of constraints. And this assumptions and constraint analysis explores the validity of assumptions and constraints to determine which pose a risk to the project. That is, the threats may be identified from the inaccuracy, instability, inconsistency, or incompleteness of assumptions, and the constraints may give rise to the opportunities through removing or relaxing a limiting factor that affects the execution of the project or process. Hope you understood about this assumption and constraint analysis technique. Moving to SWOT analysis, that is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Let me explain this one. This technique examines the project from each of the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats perspectives. For risk identification, it is used to increase the breadth of identified risk by including the internal generated risk. Hope you understood about this SWOT analysis. Moving to the document analysis. In this, risk may be identified from a structured review of project documents, including the plans, assumptions, constraints, previous project files or contracts or agreements, and some with technical documentation. Hope you understood this technique of identify risk. Let's move to the next technique, interpersonal and team skills, which includes the facilitation. What is facilitation here? Facilitation improves the effectiveness of many of the techniques used to identify the individual project risk and the sources of overall project risk. Hope you understood about this interpersonal team skills technique. Moving to the next technique, prompts list. What is prompts list? A prompts list is a predetermined list of risk categories that might give rise to the individual project risk that could also act as the sources of overall project risk. Hope you understood about this technique of identify risk. Let's move to the next technique, that is the last technique, meetings. In these meetings, to undertake the risk identification, the project team may conduct a specialized kind of meetings, often called a risk workshops. The most risk workshops include some form of brainstorming, that other risk identification techniques may be included here also, depending on the level of the risk process defined in the risk management plan. Hope you understood about these meetings. So we have understood about all the tools and techniques of the identified risk. Let's move to the outputs of this process. First with the risk register. What is risk registered here? The output, the risk registered, captures the details of the identified individual project risk first, and also the results of the performed qualitative risk analysis, the planned risk responses and the implement risk responses and monitor risk process, all are recorded in the risk registered as those processes are conducted throughout the project. So the main primary output from the identified risk are the initial entries in the risk registered, that are the list of identified risk, potential risk owners and the list of potential responses. Let me explain one by one. List of identified risk first. These are the identified in as much detail as required to ensure the ambiguous understanding. Let me explain one by one. List of identified risk. In this, identified in as much detail as required to ensure an ambiguous understanding. Second, potential risk owners. In this, the risk owner is recorded in the risk registered if identified during the identify risk process. Coming to the last, risk of potential responses. In this, potential responses to a risk may sometimes be identified during the identify risk process. Hope you understood about this output, the risk registered and its components. Let's move to the next output. We have the risk report. What is risk report? The risk report presents the information on sources of overall project risk and together with the summary information on the identified individual project risk also. And this risk report includes two. First is sources of overall project risk and summary information on identified individual project risk. Let me explain these two things. First with sources of overall project risk. In this, it indicates which are the most important drivers of overall project risk exposure. And the summary information on the identified risk, individual project risk, it includes the number of identified threats and opportunities, distribution of the risk across the risk categories, its metrics and their trends. Hope you understood about this output of identified risk. Let's move to the next output, project document updates, which contains assumption log, issue log and the lessons learned registered. Let me explain one by one. First with assumption log. In this output, during the identified risk process, new assumptions may be made, new constraints may be identified, and existing assumptions or constraints may be revisited and changed. Hope you understood this. Coming to issue log. The issue log should be updated here to capture any new issues uncovered or changes in the current logged issues. And coming to lessons learned registered. In this, the lessons learned registered can be updated with the information on the techniques that were effective in identifying the risk to improve the performance in later phases of the project or the other projects. Hope you understood about this output also. So we have covered all the outputs of the identified risk process. So we have completed all the ITTOs, inputs, tools and techniques and outputs of this identify risk process. So this completes second process session on project risk management knowledge area. Hope this session is easy and understandable for you. Fine. Let's discuss more detail on the next process in the project risk management, that is perform qualitative risk analysis process, in the next video. Kindly provide your feedback on the given email ID and subscribe my channel if you like this video. Bye for now. It's your Anil Kumar Dharam.